Well, good day, my friends. Welcome to my journey. Yeah, that's right, a carnivore journey with Trucker Ray. I am on day 47 today. That's right, day 47. My goodness. It's amazing how fast the time goes by. I just wanted to give you an update, a little bit of weigh-in results as I am sitting out here in beautiful Ely, Nevada. The sun is up. It is a gorgeous morning out here and it's not snowing, and that is a good thing. If you are getting a lot of vibration sound coming through your sound system, I do apologize. It is the reefer that I've got running in the background, and these carrier units are very, very noisy. They just give off such a bad vibration, and I do apologize for that. So this isn't going to be a long video, but I did want to share with you a little bit of what I am doing and how things have been going with me. As you know, you've been following my regular videos, and you know that we are making progress, or should I say I am making progress. It has been an interesting journey, I'll say that. I have gone through cravings, I have gone through ups and downs, I have gone through episodes where I was losing a lot of weight, like when I first weighed myself maybe 2 months ago, I was 247 pounds, and just not happy with that. And between that and the time where I wanted to start dropping the weight, I was doing a lot of exercise. I wasn't eating a lot. I was doing a lot of fasting. But it was still not enough, because I was still eating the wrong stuff. I was still eating ice cream, and I was still eating chips, and a lot of carbs with sandwiches and that, like Subway sandwiches and that. And yeah, so I did manage to lose a little bit of weight, but it was not going to stay off, because the only reason why this diet is working for me is because I'm sticking with it. So I first started this journey on the 17th, I believe of September. You'll see my little series going on. If you are just joining me, go back to the little on my channel. You'll see a playlist that shows a Carnivore Journey with Trucker Ray, and you'll see all the videos that I've done up to this point. The very first one, when I was cleaning out my truck, getting rid of any other junk and garbage, and taking a tour through the truck stop to show people what truckers have for food when they go to these truck stops. So I started the journey on the 17th of September, and I went I'm trying to remember how long it was, but anyway, I ended up back on a reset. I don't know if I went an entire week. I might have, but I did weigh myself on September 28th, and I was 234 pounds. So I know I lost a little bit of weight from the very first time I weighed myself, but I know I dropped quite a bit of weight within that first week. I was dropping a lot of water weight. October 10, so what I'm doing is I'm weighing myself every round trip. So that's about 14 days. So October 10, I was 228. So I dropped quite a bit there. A lot of water weight I dropped, and I noticed that the love handles and the spare tire on the back, around the waist area, was starting to go down. I started noticing a little bit of the weight the heaviness in my face was starting to start to go down as well. October 29th, 226. So I was a little bit disappointed. Excuse me, a little bit disappointed. October 10th to the 29th. It's a long stretch there. I lost 2 pounds, and I'm like, oh man, am I doing something wrong here? Am I eating food? Am I gaining weight? Like, what's going on? And I did my research, and I found out that it is quite normal if you're dropping 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's usually weight that's going to stay off of you. People that dump a whole bunch of weight at once and they continue to do that, usually they end up gaining it back. But I've never been one to gain weight. I've never been one to be heavy my whole life. I just haven't. I've been very blessed with that. The weight that I have on me is self-induced. I went through some very troubling tragedies in the last 10 years, and I turned to things that just put on a lot of weight. And it was not around, but it was mainly in the stomach area. And of course, you're going to see that weight in your face. You're going to, like, if you actually look at my passport picture, back in, I think it was 2014, 15 or something, I think 15, you can see how thin my face is. You can even see it in my earlier trucking videos, how thin my face is. And then you look at my driver's license picture when I renewed it last year, not last year, but the year before, you can see how thick my neck is. I'm like, oh my gosh, man. And then it was one time I was over at a truck stop, and I was in there, I was having a shower, and I looked at myself and I'm like, okay, I got to do something about this. This is getting crazy. I'm not going to be able, I can't look like this anymore. I can't. I'm struggling to get into the back of my trailer to put straps on. And I'm like, this has got to go. So I started taking up brisk walking and that's been helping. But when I only dropped like 1 or 2 pounds in 10 days, it felt like I was a little bit disappointed. And when you get disappointed, when you don't see results like that, the automatic thing that hit me was, well, if I'm not dropping really any weight anymore, why am I doing this? And I found myself going into McDonald's and getting a coffee, and I was so close to getting myself French fries or the other day, not that long ago, I was parked outside of a Dairy Queen. I mean, I'm not parked outside of a Dairy Queen. I just happened to be parked in the area where there was a Dairy Queen there, and I was looking over. I'm like, why am I torturing myself? Why don't I just go get a burger? Just get a burger and fries and a diet drink, whatever, and just enjoy my evening. But you know what? I didn't do that. What I ended up doing instead of that was, I think I got a coffee, and my lovely sister Marilyn, she suggested that I get some pumpkin pie spice. It's like it's a spice, but it's pumpkin pie spice. There's also apple pie spice. I haven't found that one yet. And you sprinkle some of that on your coffee, and if you have to, and you get a little bit of a craving, throw a little bit of Splenda in there, just very small amount, like 1 packet, even though you really can't taste anything with 1 packet. But I'm getting used to now having my coffee without any sugar or any sweetener at all now. I like to have the cream in there, even though the cream affects my sinuses and my allergies. But I can't drink black coffee. But it's all decaf that I drink too. So, I mean, it's like, why am I drinking it? Because it's something to drink. And I noticed that after I had that coffee, and my taste buds were stimulated from the flavor of the coffee, I didn't have that craving anymore. It just kind of went away. And I thought that was interesting. But I do want to share this one thing with you, which I really found absolutely amazing. For the last week, I would say the last 10 days, because I did not see major results in the weight loss, it did make me a little bit depressed. Because here I am seeing, like, I'm losing 6 pounds here, 5 pounds here, 7 pounds there, and I'm like, this is great. And then my last weigh-in, 10 days later, 14 days later, whatever it was, 1.5 pounds? Or 1 pound? I lost 1 pound? So I was a little bit defeated. And I know the experienced carnivores out there are going to go, well, you know, that's a part of the diet. You know, some days you take off diet, a lot of weight, some days you don't. I know, I'm learning this. I'm new at this. So during that week, I found myself eating less and fasting more. Well, I found out that doesn't really help. Yes, I guess you could starve yourself for an entire week, and you're probably going to lose weight. But what is that going to do to you for your health? So, excuse me, I would say it was about 8 days or so, maybe 9 days, that I just wasn't eating. I mean, I was eating meals every day, but just not a lot. I wasn't eating 3 meals a day. I wasn't eating good-sized portions. I was just kind of nibbling during the week, and then I would have a warm meal at the end of the night, but it wasn't enough. It really wasn't. It wasn't enough protein. It wasn't enough fat. It just wasn't enough. And I realized that because when I got back at home on my reset, I was just feeling weird. I was feeling like my head was in a cloud. I was feeling a bit lethargic. there's even times I'm like, wow, why am I feeling so bizarre? It's almost like you're on a very, very, very minor dose of some kind of a drug. It was weird. I just didn't feel normal. I didn't feel that happy Ray that I have been for the last, 30 or 40, whatever it is, 46 days or whatever, 45 days that I've been on this carnivore diet. Because when I started it, and I started dropping all this weight, and I stopped putting in the sugars, I stopped putting in the carbs, I started feeling phenomenal. But in the last 10 days before that, those 10 days, I didn't really notice it. I'm starting to feel worse and worse and worse. Just not happy. I'm feeling a little depressed. I'm feeling more tempted. I'm having more cravings for sugar. I'm having more cravings for junk food. I'm having more cravings for everything. And I'm like, what is going on here? It's almost like you're going through these little valleys. And then the day before, the day I had to go out on a trip, which is the one I'm on right now, I had bought a bunch of pork chops and I bought a bunch of hamburger. And I thought, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to make a whole bunch of hamburger patties. And I'm going to stick them in my freezer or in my fridge, and I'm going to nibble on those when I want to, when I'm driving down the road, because there's really not too many options to stop sometimes. And I guess I can stop and have myself a can of sardines and whatever else, but when I make those little hamburger patties, they're pretty thick. And I guess, 2 hamburger patties would almost like be a half a pound. I mean, it's quite a bit of hamburger in there. So a little bit of protein for the day, and it does help tie you over when you're hungry. So I made whatever I had for hamburger patties, and I cooked up all the pork chops, which was about 9 or 10 of them. And of course, when you're cooking your food and you're prepping your food, you get hungry. You're like, I'm having some of this. So I had 3 pork chops, and they were good sized pork chops. I had 3 of those. Then I had 2 hamburger patties, nice thick ones. And then I had another one. So I had 3. And then I packed everything up. I put everything away. Went on my trip. I didn't drive very long. It was just to get out of the area and get into Yakima, Washington. And I parked it for the night, and I pulled out 2 more hamburger patties, and I had that. I'm like, I'm still hungry. And you know what? The next day, I felt normal again. I did. I felt normal. I didn't feel foggy brained. I didn't feel weird. I didn't feel like I'm on a little bit of a drug. I didn't feel weird. I felt normal. I felt a little bit cheerful, even though didn't have a lot of sleep the night before. I still felt better, and it clicked. I realized the reason why I wasn't feeling very good for that week is I was not giving myself enough meat. I wasn't eating enough. I wasn't eating enough meat. I wasn't eating enough fats. I wasn't giving my body what it needed, because it's been burning all of this for the last 40 days. And now it's looking for nutrients. So maybe it's already burned off in my body the fats that, you know how when you lose weight, it'll burn fat off your body that, it needs sugars, fats, whatever. I don't know all the details. I'm not a doctor. But I found it absolutely fascinating that the next day I get up, I'm walking around, I'm like, wait a minute, I noticed it. It was a noticeable feeling. Well, I got up, I'm like, I really feel good. I feel normal. And I didn't understand why. I'm like, oh, good. Thank goodness that's gone. That was lasting for like almost 7-8 days, feeling like that. Until it clicked. And I realized it was all that meat that you ate, all the fat that was on the pork chops. It's all the meat that you ate. You gave your body what it needed. So yesterday, I had, again, a very long day of driving. I got here at midnight. And most people, I'm not going to eat a meal and go to bed. I don't want to sleep on a full stomach. Are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm not depriving myself of any protein. No way. I parked the truck. I pulled out some more meat. And I had a nice meal last night that filled me right up. And I thought to myself, that is something I'm not going to deprive myself anymore. Fasting until about noon, the 16-hour fast is a good thing. But lunch, have something decent. Dinner, have a nice portion. So I pulled out some meat to thaw out in my fridge for tonight. When I park it over in Yuma, I'm going to have some decent amount of protein tonight. So if you are doing the same thing and you're noticing that this is happening, that you're feeling a little weird, you're not feeling complete with it, it's like you're only running at 50% on your batteries. Are you putting enough meat? Are you putting enough fats into your system and enough salts into your system? Are you getting your electrolytes? And that's another thing too. I've been taking my electrolytes and my magnesium regularly. I just wasn't giving myself enough fat. So I really needed to share that makes a huge difference. And because of what I ate last night, I'm noticing again this morning when I woke up, I felt great. Even though I'm only get like 6 hours of rest. Unfortunately, because that's the way my body is, I can't sleep like 10 straight hours. The nice thing about today is because I drove a longer day yesterday, I have lots of time on my hands today to get to where I'm going. If I want to stop for even a half an hour or an hour snooze on the side of a pullout area, I can do that today. Yesterday was the crucial one. So I did a weigh-in on October 29. I was a little disappointed. It was 226. And this is so funny. Even though the amount of meat that I ate in the last 24 hours, I actually weighed in again today. I put my scale outside. I have a scale in my truck. 224.8. Okay, a little over a pound. Okay, since the 29th. That's pretty incredible. That's amazing. One other thing I'm going to be adding in again is my brisk walking. I have not been doing a whole lot of that lately, just basically because of laziness. And also, I've just had a lot going on when I record my videos on the road. They take a lot of my time as for editing. So, don't get a lot of time to do my brisk walking. Like, it's 2 hours before I go anywhere now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously put this video together if I can, which should not be a big issue. And then I'm going to go for a good half an hour walk. Walk up this road and go around the Loves and whatever. Good brisk walk. I'm going to start adding that exercise again, if I can, every single day. And that should also increase my weight loss as well. But overall, we're still losing weight. It's it's amazing what I'm learning. Excuse me, on the way. The cravings that you go through. And of course, here's all these thoughts. The holidays are coming up. You know, you go into Costco and you see all these goodies down the aisles and everything, Christmas cake, and, you know, one of my favorites is shortbread cookies and everything. I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I going to walk into Costco and stock up on anything if I am feeling, this tempted? But I was feeling this tempted during that week because my mind was not in the right frame of, I was not in my right frame of mind. When your body is not getting the nutrients it needs, when your body's not getting the fats, it does play games with your mind. Your thinking changes. It really does. If you don't think your mood is not affected by the food that you put in your body, think twice. If you notice that you're depressed a lot, maybe you're eating the wrong kind of foods. If you're noticing you're getting anxiety attacks or whatever, panic attacks, it's the wrong food. Go on a diet like this for 30 days and see if this doesn't help you. Remove the sugars, remove the carbs, remove everything but the meats and the fats, and try that for 30 days. Will that really hurt you to try that? So quickly, I'll wrap it up by saying this. During that week when I was feeling really defeated, I was really nervous. I'm like, how am I going to get through the holidays? Am I going to have a little crash right around the holidays? How am I going to do this? Am I going to be enjoying a buffet of really good foods and sweets or whatever during that time? Mashed potatoes and all that stuff with the turkey and everything. But that thinking was during that week when I was feeling depressed and my mindset was not right because I wasn't giving myself the right amount of food and the nutrients that I needed. But even in the last 24 hours, that thinking, what am I going to do about the holidays? That's not bothering me right now. When I was praying this morning, I try to pray every morning, ask God to get us through the day. I'm not boasting about it. I'm just saying this is a regular thing I do. I was praying and saying, Lord, I'm feeling strong right now, but just in case I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable or weak, please help me get through it. But right now I can honestly say I'll be fine. And if I could just continue to have the right amount of nutrients in my body and give it what it needs, my mindset, my positive thinking will be fine. And I don't want that to sound funny. Oh, you're thinking positive thinking. Isn't that kind of like, new age stuff? No, it's not. Obviously, if you're going to give your body the nutrients it needs, the vitamins, the minerals, everything that it needs, your mindset is going to be in a positive way. Right? You're going to be feeling good about yourself. So there you go, friends. That's all I got. My next update, this was a bit of a long one. I do apologize, but my next update will be probably in another 14 days or so, and I'll check in with you once again. But the Carnivore Diet, it is working, friends. It is working. So those of you that are considering it, it's working for me. If it works for me, it'll work for you. All right? So blessings in the name of Yeshua, everyone. See you later. Bye for now.